Hola, estamos en un minuto para ti. Repite conmigo estas palabras. Yo soy más fuerte que este desafío y este desafío me hará más fuerte. Fija tus ojos en lo que puedes hacer, no hacia atrás, en lo que no puedes cambiar. El presente está frente a ti. Tómalo y moldéalo a tu beneficio. Aprovecha la sabiduría y conocimientos de tus docentes. Enriquece tu mente con información valiosa y desecha todo aquello que ensucia tus pensamientos. Y recuerda, haz todo lo posible para que tu día sea bueno, porque de lo imposible se encarga Dios.
Aprende en casa a través de la televisión. Levántate con energía y conéctate con la estrella. Prepara tu lápiz, bolígrafo y cuaderno, porque Meduca presenta Conéctate con la estrella.
Fantastic. Are you studying? Great. Studying and you are okay. I hope that you and all your family are just fine. Well, let's begin. Recommendations. Remember, the COVID is still here. We're in quarantine time. So you and me, we must still continue having good, healthy habits to prevent the COVID-19. Remember, when you leave home, you go to the supermarket, you need to go out to do something, wear your mask, right? Don't forget it, it's very important. Also, wash your hands when you come back home. If you can take a shower, as I always do, do it. It's better for us. In today's class, we're going to talk about ecology, right? Ecology. You are going to be aware of the importance of natural resources for human life. Interpret and produce language related to environmental issues and solutions. Incorporate new vocabulary in your language related to the environment. We're going to be today very green. We're going to have and create today a green consciousness. Well, let's move on. First, I'm going to show you a video that is going to tell you what's ecology. The definition of ecology for you to know and be related with the terminology. What involves the word ecology? I invite you to watch it, pay attention, listen carefully, and enjoy.
Our big, beautiful blue planet is in a complicated balance of life and death, predator and prey, friend and foe. The word ecology literally translates to the study of home, our home, planet Earth. The more specific definition of ecology is the study of the relations of organisms to one another and to their physical environment. It answers questions like, how do living things interact and rely on each other, or on their surroundings? The survival of any species is dependent on other living organisms and non-living components. This is called interdependence. For example, humans could not survive without plants to produce oxygen, and the plants need carbon dioxide from humans and other organisms, or even from volcanic eruptions. Ecology is extremely complex and difficult to study. So one way that ecologists deal with this complexity is to use ecological models to represent or describe the components of an ecological system. This model is called an ecosphere. The largest ecological system we know of is the Biosphere, planet Earth. This is the only biosphere we study because, so far, it's the only place in the universe that we know has life. The biosphere is the thin veil on Earth that goes from above the ground to the deepest parts of the ocean. All life on Earth is in the biosphere. If you zoom in to one ecosystem, it's a little easier to see all the parts working together. An ecosystem is all the organisms and non-living environment found in a particular place. The living things in this pond ecosystem include fish, turtles, aquatic plants, algae, insects, birds, and bacteria. These organisms interact in ways that affect their survival. For instance, insects and fish eat aquatic plants, and the turtles eat the fish. The non-living or physical and chemical things include the chemical composition of the pond, its pH, its levels of dissolved oxygen and carbon dioxide, and its supply of nitrogen, which all help to determine what kinds of organisms live in the pond and how abundant they are. A community is all of the interacting organisms in an area. It does not include the non-living factors. A population is all of the organisms of one type of species in the area, and an organism refers to an individual animal. In order, the levels of organization from the most broad to the narrowest are the biosphere, ecosystem, community, population, and organism. When we talk about where an organism lives, instead of saying ecosystem, which might still be a fairly large area, we could talk about its habitat. It's just a word that means the place where an organism lives. A habitat includes both biotic and abiotic factors. Biotic factors are the living parts of the habitat, and when you add the letter A in front of the word, it means not living, so abiotic factors are the non-living parts of the habitat. Using the pond ecosystem as an example, biotic factors include grasses, algae, fish, birds, and insects. The abiotic factors include the pH of the water, rocks, soil, the sunlight, and temperature. Now, you may sometimes hear people try to use the word habitat and the word niche interchangeably, and that's not quite how they should be used. A niche is the job or role of the organism within its environment. So, habitat is a home, and niche is a job. For example, a redwood tree takes energy from the sun and turns it into sugar using photosynthesis. Redwood trees are often found in foggy coastal areas like Santa Cruz, California. The habitat is the foggy coastal areas like California, and the niche is converting the sun's energy into sugar by photosynthesis. Now, some organisms fill a very broad niche and some a very specific one. Generalists eat a variety of foods, and specialists eat few or even just one type of food. Pigs are an example of a generalist. They'll eat lots of different foods very happily. This can be beneficial to them because they could survive on a variety of foods and fill a niche in many different habitats. The panda, on the other hand, is a specialist because they only eat bamboo. If bamboo is unavailable, the panda population may die off. This species has a much higher risk of becoming extinct, so it's often beneficial for organisms to be generalists. Thanks for watching this episode of Teacher's Pet. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on Twitter at SciencePet.
Well, I hope you liked this video just as I did, watching the nature and the green colors all around. Well, ecology is the science that studies all living and non-living things in our planet. Even us, humans, belong to the ecology system, okay? Keep that in mind. That's what ecology does, studies living and non-living organisms on the planet Earth. Let's continue. Today, you are going to learn keywords, vocabulary related to ecology, environment, everything that is important for you to know about nature. Let's see. We have here ecosystem diversity, endangered species, conservation, species diversity. Let's watch what they mean. Ecosystem diversity. Diversity comes from diverse, different, many things different. So let's see what's the definition. Ecosystem diversity is a type of biodiversity. It is the variation in the ecosystems found in a region or the variation in ecosystems over the whole planet. That's the meaning of ecosystem diversity. Endangered species. An endangered species is a species that is very likely to become extinct. Extinct is the same as disappear. No more species in the wildlife of that type. In the near future, either worldwide or in a particular political jurisdiction. What does that mean? For example, The harpy eagle is an endangered species in Panama. In our political jurisdiction, Panama, we don't find this type of species in the wildlife. They have to be preserved and conserved because they are already in an endangered position. They are just about to extinct. No more harpy eagles. You are going to watch them around, flying around the trees, right? They have to be preserved and conserved. Conservation. Prevention of wasteful use of a resource. That's what conservation means. Prevent that somebody, someone, in this case humans, waste something, any resource. That's the way conservation, okay? That's conservation. Species diversity, as the butterfly, is defined as the number of species and abundance of each species that live in a particular location. That was when you see species diversity, when, for example, you go to walk in a park and you see many animals of that species, that's diversity, different kinds of. Well, let's move on. Here we continue. We have pollutant, renewable resource, deforestation, and biodiversity. Let's see the meaning for pollutant. If you watch the picture, it's everything, any material that contaminates, pollutes our natural environment. A substance that pollutes something, especially water or the atmosphere. And here in the picture, you see our beaches are polluted because of the plastic materials that we throw or leave them, even cans, any kind of garbage, that's a pollutant. Renewable resource, a source of energy, movement, energy, that is not depleted by use. Depleted in this case means that is not wasted or thrown away, okay? Such as water, wind, or solar power. If you see, this is a wind park. The wind park we have here in Panama 1, located in Penonomé. That's a wind park. What's the function of this park? Is to use the energy of the wind, okay, to use it, renew it as electricity. That's the function of this park. So that's a renewable resource. We are using the power of the wind to produce energy, electricity. That's something that is not going to be depleted, thrown away. It's going to be used. Also water. Here in Panama too, we use the water to produce energy too. So we don't throw the water just away. No, we use it also to produce electricity, and in this case, the wind. The solar power, you have seen the solar panels. The solar panels now are used to not waste or deplete the energy of the sun. And in many houses, we have seen they use this technology, okay? And companies too. They use the energy of the sun, the solar panels, take that energy and they produce electricity. That's a renewable resource process. Deforestation, the action of clearing a wide area of tree. Look at this picture. This picture is not from another country. This is here in Panama, in Darien province. In Darien, we have this problem with deforestation. Clearing wide area of trees, cutting down, that's also a synonym. Cutting down a wide area of trees. Remember, deforestation is just illegal if you don't take the correct, appropriate permissions from the government to use this natural resource, cut it down, to use it for something, okay? We have to ask for permission to the government to cut down trees. If we don't do it appropriately, then this is going to happen. We're going to deforestate, cut down inadequately an area, okay? And then you are going to see what's going to happen next after people begins to cut down trees. Biodiversity. I showed you this picture because here in Panama we have a museum, okay, at Amador. This museum is called Biodiversity Museum. Why? Because here they show us the variability among living organisms from all sources, including terrestrial, marine, and other aquatic ecosystems, and the ecological complexes of which they are part. In this museum, they show you the habitat of the terrestrial, marine, and other aquatic ecosystems. I invite you to visit the museum when we can go. Sometime we're going to go again out, and I invite you to visit the museum. And if you have gone already, then you have noticed that they show you the different habitats of different species, okay? Terrestrial, marine, and other aquatic ecosystems. Biodiversity, you can also watch it live when you go and do tourism in your country. For example, in Panama, we have examples, thank God, still of each one of these ecosystems. So when you visit and you go to the beach, if you go to a natural park, if you visit any province, you can find, and if you pay attention, you can see different types of ecosystems. Here we have extinction, global warming, drought, and decompose. Let's see the meaning for extinction. And look at the picture. It's the golden frog, a national species too. Let's see what's the meaning for extinction. The state or process of a species, family, or larger group being or becoming extinct. This is what happened with the golden frog, Panamanian species, that we already have it in extinction, disappeared too. You are not going to find, very difficult that you find the golden frog in the wildlife, okay? Very difficult. Just in conservation places where they are taking care of this animal to reproduce, then to have an amount. But we are not going to find that big amount of golden frogs because they are already extincted in the wildlife. Okay, the global warming. A gradual increase in the overall temperature of the Earth's atmosphere, generally attributed to the greenhouse effect, caused by increased levels of carbon dioxide, chlorofluorocarbons, and other pollutants. The global warming, as you see in the picture, is the increase of the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere, causing that we have, when we have here the dry season in Panama, animals die because of the heat of the Earth. Remember that when we are in beginning December, January, February, March, even to April, we have high temperatures. We are very hot. And some animals cannot tolerate these temperatures and they die, okay, because of the heat. That's the global warming effect caused by the greenhouse effect. What's the greenhouse effect? The carbon dioxide and all of these gases, monoxide, that go to the atmosphere and cause to the same atmosphere, the same environment to get too hot. Drought. A prolonged period of abnormally low rainfall leading to a shortage of water. This is here also from Panama. This is the Sariwa Desert. The Sariwa Desert is a totally drought area. What happens? This doesn't mean that in this area doesn't rain. It almost or literally little rain, not enough water to get wet the land, the soil. So it is caused by the drought, okay? Not too much rain. What happened? If we continue deforesting, this has to do with the other picture, the other vocabulary. Deforestation causes this, the drought. Sariwa Desert was not always a desert. It was previously like a tree area. It has trees, okay? But humans, us, Panamanians, began to cut down trees and then became a drought area, a desert, right? So here, on this area, you don't find rain. Doesn't rain, okay? Remember the rain. It is too little to get the soil wet. So the heat, the global warming affects this and then causes the drought. That's why you see the soil in this way, very dry. Decompose is defined as to rot, to decay, to break down into parts or to disintegrate into the earth or to cause something to break down or rot. I show you the picture of this worm because the worm, talking about the soil and nature, is the one in charge to break down or decompose whatever falls, organic thing that falls into the soil. And the worm makes the soil more fertile, right? When you see this little animal, don't kill it, don't step on it, no, don't do it. Take it with your hand and put it into the soil because we need them. They make our soil fertile and our plants and trees and flowers grow more beautiful and bigger. So we need the worms to decompose and make fertile our soil. Let's move on. Well, here we're going to practice some words that we have seen in our vocabulary. Let's see the practice. We're going to complete with the appropriate word for each sentence. Let's see. Let's check what you have learned, the practice. Okay, choose the right words. Number 1, there is a growing concern over the, here we're going to choose, pollution, deforestation, warming, effect, habitat, recycle, windmill or wind farm, gases, use up, protection. What word we use to complete this space? I repeat, there is a growing concern over the of species. Over the, right, protection of species. And biodiversity. And pollution, deforestation, warming, effect, habitat. There is a growing concern over the protection of species and biodiversity. Let's complete here. And pollution, deforestation, warming, effects, habitat, recycle, windmill, gases, use up, protection. What word do you think goes in this space? Good. About the species habitat and biodiversity. Number 2, the Earth's resources, our resources from the air, the water, the plants, the animals, are being at an alarming rate. What are humans doing? What are humans doing with the Earth's resources? Pollution, deforestation, warming, effect, habitat, recycle, windmill, gases, use up, protection. Right. used up at an alarming rate. Number 3, the greenhouse is an increase in the amount of carbon dioxide and odor of the surface of the earth. The greenhouse, what? I talked to you about it previously. The greenhouse? Yes, effect. Correct. Effect is an increase in the amount of carbon dioxide and odor in the atmosphere, which is believed to the cause of a gradual carbon dioxide and odor gases. Remember that I also told you that the monoxide, carbon dioxide are gases in the atmosphere, which is believed to be the cause of a gradual, let's watch the word, of the surface of the earth. Pollution, deforestation, warming, effect, gases, windmill, recycle, use of protection. Here, okay. Of a gradual of the surface of the earth. Warming. Okay, warming. Number 4, the energy generated by the is both very efficient and clean. The energy generated by the what? Remember what I talked to you about? Yes, by the windmill is both very efficient and clean. Windmill, wind park, okay, when you have the big fans. Number 5, climate change and human activities such as an intensive agriculture and industry are two main causes of too much agriculture and industry. Agriculture, remember that we have to work with the land. Too much are two main causes of, yes, deforestation. Good. The Japanese people, more than half their waste paper. What do you think the Japanese do with their waste paper? They, right, recycle. They recycle more than half their waste paper. That's a good habit they have. We are not doing enough to protect the environment from the harmful effects of. We are not doing enough. We are not doing enough to protect the environment from the harmful effects of, yes, pollution. Right, good job, guys. You are doing a great job, okay? So here we use most of the words that we saw in our vocabulary. And also in the video about ecology, you have habitat, if a windmill or a wind park, deforestation, right? Gases, warming. All of this has to do with ecology. Good, guys. Let's continue with our class. Well, now, let's watch another video that I want you to pay attention to it. You are going to see animals from Panama. I'm going to be talking to you about them a little bit, but pay attention carefully to the names of these animals because then we're going to move on another topic. Let's watch the video. Okay, these are animals in Panama, okay? Let's see the species that we have in our country. Some of them, because Panama also has many kinds of species. Here you can see the capuchin monkey. Capuchin, I want you to pay attention to this word, capuchin. This is a type of monkey. Isn't it very cute? I like this monkey. It's very cute. The capuchin monkey, if you pay attention to it, is a very little monkey. Now here we have the howler monkey. And you see the word is repeated many times, howler monkey. Howler is bigger than the other one, than the first one. The howler monkey, another type of monkey species, howler. Geoffrey's tamarin, this is another type. Yellow-headed gecko. yellow-headed gecko. Jesus Christ lizard. Jesus Christ lizard. The caiman, and we have seen it. Caiman. The caiman, very big animal. Big and dangerous animal. The hermit crab is a tiny animal that lives in the sand. Hermit crab. Keyhole limpet, that's another type of species. Helicopter damselfly. Ouse-eye butterfly. Banded peacock butterfly, another type of butterfly, another species. Bats. Agouti. Red squirrel. We have seen this tiny animal even walking on the electricity cables in our neighborhood. Three-toed sloth. The three-toed sloth is very common in our parks, in our forests. The three-toed sloth, I like the face of this animal, it's very cute. And the two-toed sloth. Well, let's see something about these animals that I want you to pay attention. We talk about ecology, okay? Specifically, I want to bring that topic to Panama because in our country we have a lot of beautiful species and we have a lot to talk about our ecology. Look at these words. I took some examples of the animal just that you saw on the video. Capuchin, howler, yellow-headed, red. You have here the two-toed. Pay attention. Capuchin, howler, yellow-headed, red, and two-toed are words that give us description of this animal, the type of species they belong to. For example, monkey, gecko, butterfly are the names, the nouns of these animals. But if I add the word capuchin, and I say capuchin monkey, I'm talking about a specific type of monkey, a specific group, specific species. Howler monkey, I'm specifying that's another group of monkey, another type, different from the capuchin. Be careful, both are monkeys, but I'm specifying the group or the species where each one belongs to by adding these words that are called in English adjective. Yellow-headed gecko. If you watch the video, the gecko obviously, of course, had the head in yellow color. Okay, I'm specifying. Red squirrel. That's a type of squirrel. We have many squirrels, but in this case, she is or he is red. And the two-toed sloth. Two-toed, the fingers, the toes are two. And we also talk about three-toed sloth. They are differentiated by these words that in English are called adjectives. Adjectives are words that give us more information about my nouns of what I'm talking about in my sentence or when I speak, when I'm explaining. This is a noun, okay, and this is the adjective. And look at the position. The noun goes after the adjective. This word gives me more details of what I'm talking about. And then comes the noun. For example, if you pay attention to the caiman, I'm going to say something about the caiman. I say, this animal is huge, big, wild, caiman, okay? First, I give you the description and then I talk to you about the animal, okay? I say, this animal, this is a beautiful, let's say beautiful, some people like this type of animals, reptiles. This is a beautiful, huge, big, synonyms, wild, wild, caiman, okay? Then I'm talking to you about the specific animal, the caiman. But first, I told you how he is. Well, let's pay attention to the explanation that I prepared for you about what's an adjective. The rule, how you write in English and you use the adjective to describe a noun. Remember, the noun is the name of a person, a place, animal, or a thing. Let's watch this tutorial.
Well, guys, now remember that I talked to you about capuchin, howler, right? Adjective words with the animals in Panama. I showed you that howler monkey, capuchin monkey, the two-toed sloth, and other words, they were previously or first they had the adjective because the howler and the capuchin both are monkeys, but using the adjective, the words that describe, specify, give more definition, give more examples about the noun. Capuchin, in this case, specifies what type of monkey it is, and howler also specifies the type of monkey it is. So let's see here. What is an adjective? An adjective is a word that describes or modifies a noun, person, place, or thing. Without adjective, we wouldn't know if you had a serene vacation or a disastrous vacation. It means that these words, the adjective, give us more details of what the noun is. For example, in this case, vacation. Yes, you had vacation, but you want to describe how was your vacation time. You say, oh, my vacation, I had an amazing vacation time. I had a terrible vacation because it rained a lot, okay? So you are specifying, telling me how was your vacation. Also, going back to the topic of the animal, you specify the type of animal it is. For example, the squirrel. We have many squirrels, but specifically the one showed in the video is a red squirrel. Red in this case is a color and give us information of the type or of the color of squirrel. Okay, adjectives are never pluralized, even if the noun is in the plural form. Remember, do not add s to the adjective. Never add s to the adjective, even if your noun is in the plural form. Let's see this example. The harpy eagles. Here I have my noun, eagle. What type of eagle? Harpy. Here I have many eagles, but that doesn't mean that my adjective has to go in plural. No, because just it's an adjective. So I put harpy and eagles, here I'm talking about more than one, are endangered species. Here also, this noun can be either singular or plural. Okay, in this case, because you have here eagles, we are talking about species many. Endangered also. If your noun has an S or ES, you don't have to add the S to the adjective because your noun doesn't give you the definition, doesn't matter that you have an adjective is never with S. Other example, the greenhouse effect. This is in singular. Here there is no problem because I'm talking about effect. Just one. And greenhouse here is telling me about the type of effect I'm talking about. Greenhouse effect is a natural process that warms the Earth's surface. Greenhouse is my adjective. Okay, now, keep in mind, let's review. Adjective, the adjective gives me more details, description of my noun. That can be a person, a place, or a thing. Adjectives are never pluralized. Do not add s to the adjective. Keep that in mind so that when you are going to speak or you are going to write, you don't make that mistake. Okay? Then let's move on with the practice. Let's see. Let's practice vocabulary words as adjectives. Many of the words that you have seen here today in our economic class are adjectives. Yes, these are adjectives, believe it or not. And here I have some examples. Golden, polluted, endangered, global, hearty, two-toed, capuchin, and conservation. Okay? These are the words we are going to use to complete the sentences. Number one, the blank space frog is an animal that we see only if we visit. The blind frog. Frog is my noun. What type of frog I'm talking about? Which of these words will you choose? Good! I'm talking about golden frog. Good. This is my type of frog, golden frog, the yellow one that we have here in Panama. It's an animal that we see only if we visit places like the one located in the Anton Valley. What type of places, plural, I have to visit to see this type of animal? Polluted, endangered, global, hearty, two-toed, capuchin, conservation. Correct. I have to visit conservation places. Remember that conservation places are places that are dedicated to preserve, okay, to keep, reproduce animals that are already they are gone in the wildlife, they disappeared totally, so they here preserve that species. 2. Many rivers in our country are due to the amount, due means because of the amount of trash. Trash means garbage, plastic bottles, pampers. We also have on the rivers people throw soap and plastic bags and all type of garbage. Okay, many rivers in our country are, yes, very good, polluted due to the amount of trash that runs into them. Poor rivers. We have to preserve and keep our rivers clean. Remember that everything that goes into the rivers ends into the sea. So we have to take care of our natural resources. All are special, but we need water. So we have to take care of our water resources. Warming. This is my noun. I'm talking about here of an effect. Okay. Warming is a serious gradual increase in the overall temperature of the Earth's atmosphere. What type of warming of all these words we have here? Right, very good. Global. Global means in the whole world. This is something that doesn't only happen in Panama, it's in the whole world. That's why it's called global warming, in the whole globe. Okay? An example of an species in Panama is the eagle. An example of what type of species? Yes, the type endangered. This is an endangered species. Is the eagle. You should know this one because we have seen already a picture in the vocabulary about this type of bird. Yes, the harpy eagle. Harpy eagle. Good. The sloth and the monkey are some examples of Panama's national species. The two-toed sloth, very good. Remember the vocabulary you saw. Three-toed in the video. Three-toed and two-toed sloth. And the monkey, my favorite monkey. Yes, capuchin monkey. I think it's very cute. The capuchin monkey are some examples of Panama's national species. Okay, here also you have noun singular, adjective, no S. Here you have noun plural, adjective, without S, no S. Remember, never pluralize your adjective even if your noun is in the plural form. So now that you practice vocabulary and also adjectives, we can move on into our class. So let's continue. You did a great job. You are excellent students. And let's continue working.
Well, let's continue with our class. I hope that you got the idea of the adjective, the function of adjectives in the sentence to describe, give more example, okay, idea of what you are talking about, that is the noun. Let's move on. Okay, to finish our class, let's review first. What we talk about today? We have two topics in one. Yes, ecology. In the ecology, we talk about pollution, global warming, greenhouse effect, drought. Right, very good. And adjectives, words that describe, modify a noun, give more details, and I show you the example of the harpy eagle, the red squirrel, the capuchin monkey. My favorite monkey is very cute for me, isn't it? Don't you think? Yes, right? And the howler monkey, and so on. Now, I want to show you a video that sums up all the ideas, okay, of what we have seen here today and gives you ideas of what we have to do to take care of our environment. And I hope you enjoy the video and you learn about it and the importance that is to take care of our environment. Let's watch this video.
We live in a wonderful world, full of life, full of colour, full of beauty. But in recent years, our world has been devastated by hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, and droughts. What does the future hold for planet Earth? The place we all call home. Climate change could destroy the world that we live in. Scientists predict that within 50 years, many parts of our world could be under 20 centimeters of water. We can prevent this if we all work together. There is still time for us to save our world. Solar panels, wind farms, and underwater turbines are being used to produce renewable energy. These are sources that can be used again and again. Although there are still many more things that we can be doing, things that you and your family can do together. You can reduce the amount of waste you produce. This can be done by being more resourceful with the things that you use and buy. You and your family can recycle many items in your home. Just look at what you can reuse. Jars, bottles, bags. Did you know that 100,000 tons of carrier bags are being thrown away every single year? This is the same weight as 70,000 cars. You and your family could put a stop to this by simply reusing your bags rather than just throwing them away. Many items that you use can be recycled. Cans, bottles, paper, even electrical goods and food can be recycled. It is important we don't just throw these items away. Your used can could easily become part of a new car, and your used glass bottle could be made into new windows for your home. So, make sure you use a recycle bin every time. There are many simple things that you and your family can do around your home. Plant a tree in your garden and watch it grow. Make compost with your leftover food and grow new food. When the weather is nice, hang your clothes out to dry. All these things could not only save the environment, they can also save your family money. What we have right now is a chance to preserve our future. Tell your parents, your grandparents, and your friends to do the small things that count. We must take it step by step to make sure that you have a future to grow up in. person by person, family by family, community by community. Together, we can make a difference.
Together, we can make the difference. Keep that in mind, that message, I like it. Together, we can make a great difference. It's time to begin now taking care of our environment, and now at home, we all have the power in our hands to begin doing it. For homework guides, I invite you to watch this movie. This little robot here is Wall-E. This movie has a great message for you about how to keep and protect our earth from garbage, because Wall-E has the great work to do it. He has to clean our planet. This can be a childish movie, but has a great message. So take a picture, use your cell phone, take a photo to this link, or if you can download it directly, go to YouTube and you have the complete movie there. I invite you to do it. Now that you are at home, you have time, and you are going to learn, okay, from this robot that gives us a great message. Well, guys, that's all for today. I leave you with this. Go green so there will be a tomorrow. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. These 3 R's are very powerful, and we have to do it to take care of our ecology, our nature. Remember, COVID is still here. Look at this. I study and stay at home. That's a new slogan for you. You study and stay at home. Remember, eat healthy and keep this social distancing. I hope you enjoyed your class. I hope to see you next week. I'm Mrs. Alfaro. Remember your favorite English teacher, and see you guys. Bye.
Hello, my name is Katia Medina, and once again we are with the